Authority of the Arab Republic of Egypt. We reflect on the progress made and the collective commitment to strengthening Africa's health security. Let us acknowledge the dedication and collaboration that have driven this forum forward. Allow me to introduce Dr. Fredrik Christensen, Managing Director of RVMC.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, Dr. Khaled Abd El Ghaffar, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of RVMC, I would like to thank or extend a particular thank you to the government of Egypt and the Unified Procurement Authority through Dr. Hisham Steit for providing the foundation for this event. I would also like to pay tribute to the member states, our fellow co-host, where I was very inspired to learn about the extensive work that both organizations are undertaking on the continent. Africa CDC having laid out a clear pathway for the continent through the PHAHM, and Gavi both through its regular work and the strengthening the agenda through AVMA. The first was the need for bold, decisive leadership. And I'm leaving Cairo reassured that the leadership that we have witnessed in this room is indeed what we need. The second was the sustainable vaccine markets need predictable demand. And this has been vigorously discussed through these days. And we have heard several developments towards supporting that. And the third was the importance of securing effective and more harmonized regulatory environment. And we indeed witnessed groundbreaking developments in that area yesterday. So on the basis of this excellent progress, and thinking back to the quote that I had from the Treaty on Human Rights in my opening comments, which urged us all to act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood, I must say I leave Cairo in a very positive spirit. However, we're also leaving with a number of, or with a lot of work to do in front of us, which is as it should be from these types of meetings. And for RVMC at least, I see three particular priorities where we can support your efforts going forward. One is to continue providing support to projects in Africa, both to strengthen the probability of success for the most developed vaccine projects, but also support building more drug substance capacity, as we have heard. Secondly, continue strengthening the relationship across Global South regions and with global stakeholders, not least to further develop streamlined ways to address the challenge of demand certainty. And thirdly, to continue sharing with our friends at Africa CDC the work also supporting in other regions on regulatory harmonization so that we support the AMA for allowing us to participate in this platform. Thank you for all your engagements, and we look forward to continue working with you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Christensen. Allow me now to introduce
Your Excellency, Honorable Minister of Health and Deputy Prime Minister of Egypt, and my dear co-hosts, colleagues, participants of the meeting, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, a very good evening. This two-day forum is now coming to a close, but it has been a very important forum for us. I've been following the proceedings. I've been getting a pulse of what's been discussed. And for us at Gavi and our partners, it's a very important forum. But before I talk about the forum and what takeaways we have and how we're concluding and what the way forward is, I just want to talk a little bit about Egypt. Egypt is of course, a great country of great significance to the continent and to the region and to the world. But I have this habit of going out into the field and exploring what the healthcare system is like in the world. That health facility was fully functioning, its pharmacy was well stocked. The health records that I saw in that primary healthcare facility, are of a kind that I have never seen anywhere before. It is perhaps the example of the only primary healthcare facility I have ever seen in my entire career, where there is a functioning dentistry unit, where there is functioning physiotherapy, where there are clinics, where there is referral, and where there were no stockouts of medicine. And I was very, very impressed. In the health sector, we have a tendency to talk about failures all the time. We talk about ghost facilities and absenteeism and hemorrhaging supply chains and stockouts and pilferage. And we see this over and over again in many countries. But there are examples of successes as well. And although this is not related to the subject, I could not resist bringing this up. Egypt should be very proud of its 5,000 health facilities, and the World Health Organization should be very proud of a very important partner. I also want to bring into the room the Egyptian experience of procurement and the Unified Procurement Agency that you have created. I think I'm sure it cuts out a lot of hemorrhage in the process. And I want to congratulate you, Deputy Prime Minister, for this very pioneering agency that you have established. And I think Egypt has a lot to share with the rest of the world. And I also would be remiss if I do not acknowledge the role that you're playing in providing home to millions of refugees. Your generosity is something that the world must learn from. You do not keep them in camps. You let them integrate into your economies, and you let them have free access to your health facilities and to your social services. That is truly remarkable. I want to pay tribute to your country for these very humane and cutting-edge innovations in the social sector. What do I say about this meeting other than the fact that I want to thank my colleagues. I want to thank David. David, everybody knows you, but I want to introduce to you other colleagues that have been at the forefront of planning. Yelda is my colleague, and I'd like her to come up with me. Yelda, Ben, and Richard Mehigo, and David, of course, I'd like them to come up. They have been working very actively with Africa CDC, with RVMC, and with all of you to make this event a success. And I can promise you that there are important learnings. We have listened to you. The forum was meant to bring together manufacturers and investors and our donor partners. And I really want to thank our donor partners, because if it was not for the generosity of these 13 sovereign donors, we would not be having this conversation today. So it is through the generosity of the sovereign donors that we today have AVMA, that today we are having this conversation, and today we have a concrete pathway for the way forward. And I want to share with you, Your Excellency, the Deputy Prime Minister, that in every interaction of mine with the sovereign donors, I have seen a keen and a sincere desire to help the continent, to help further the cause of vaccine sovereignty on the continent. And please be assured that as far as Gavi is concerned, as the small and humble agency here at your service, me and my colleague will leave no stone unturned to make sure that we can put whatever we have at our disposal at your feet. So we're taking important lessons. We will reflect on them. There are some actions that will transpire into concrete action immediately, and then we will continue to the dialogue and the plan for the next meeting. Once again, I want to thank you for honoring us. I want to thank you for your hospitality. We came to you with humility and respect, and we look forward to our next visit to the continent next year. Thank you very much on behalf of me and my colleagues.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nishter. And now, allow me to introduce Dr. Hisham Setate, Chairman of the Unified Procurement Authority of the Arab Republic of Egypt.
Your Excellency, Dr. Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, Minister of Health and Population, Deputy Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt, distinguished delegates, partners, and the Africa CDC, Gavi, and RVMC has been instrumental in advancing this agenda. The insights and strategies we have discussed must now translate into tangible actions that accelerate local production and foster a robust, sustainable health product manufacturing in Africa. Ensure equitable access to life-saving.
Thank you very much, Dr. State. And now, allow me to introduce His Excellency, Dr. Jan Kaseya, Director General of the Africa Center for Disease Control.
My dear brother, His Excellency Professor Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, my colleagues and friends who are co-organizing this event, my sister Sanya from Gavi, and my friend Frederick from RVMC. I want also to recognize this person who decided to take over from a giant. I'm talking about General Barr. General Barr was leading UPA when we started to talk with my brother, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister, how to make the agenda of Africa ex-con an African agenda. And I hope we can continue to celebrate what this giant did. And Dr. Hisham Setate decided to take this role. Thank you for being here. But let me first say something. When you are leading a continental agency like Africa CDC, you must have your champions. You must have people who are supporting you on a daily basis. And my brother, the Minister of Egypt, is one of them. Supporting this agenda, and not only local manufacturing. I think, Minister, we have to invite them to an Africa ex-con and this meeting that will take place in November. What my sister Sanya is saying, I was so impressed by the progress made by Egypt. And I was asking myself, why are we still flying out of Africa to look for care? But to show you how he's so committed, I had a call with him, I think, 10 days ago. He was somewhere, I don't want to name that, otherwise some of you will be jealous. Here, then I'm flying to meet the Pope. I say, meet the Pope, but we are waiting for you. We will not lend to Egypt, we will not leave Egypt without you. He said, I will shorten my time and I will take the next flight to be with you. Night, just to be with us. And you can imagine, This is showing how he's believing on this agenda. He did a lot. The first time I met him was in 2023, and I saw the progress under his leadership in the ministry Egypt made. Today, Egypt is the first country in Africa to have the NRA being maturity level 3 for vaccines and medicines. But my dream, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that Africa CDC managed to table to the AU Assembly. It was already approved by the Permanent Representative Committee, and on the 12th it will be approved by the Executive Council before going to the Assembly. Egypt becomes the capital of local manufacturing by having what we call Africa XCon. Every year we'll be celebrating this moment, May or June, depending on period. We'll meet here in Egypt. The next meeting will be the last week of June, if I'm not wrong. I think all of you received. We are inviting all of you, and I'm sure that my sister Sanya will be with me in Egypt in June. I was talking with a number of partners. If you miss Africa XCon, you are missing opportunity to see the progress that Africa is making on local manufacturing. Let me thank also not only RVMC, not only Gavi colleagues, but also UPA for the wonderful support they provided. We are so happy and glad to be in Cairo for this meeting. But I have also what we call our soldiers from Africa CDC who did a great job under pressure, but we have this successful meeting, well attended, and with people who are really making decisions. Dear friends and colleagues, we are making progress in Africa. All of us, we can see that. I was saying the agenda of local manufacturing is not an option. It's a vision that we are materializing from A to Z. This is a great success. I was in Nigeria a few weeks ago. I saw how my brother, Minister Pate, was pushing this agenda. That one is a game changer for Africa. There is no doubt that we are moving. We are also moving on the market side. Who can say today, with the decision that you made to operationalize the African pool procurement mechanism, who can say there is no market in Africa? Can pool procurement mechanism. Who can say there is no market in Africa? There is market in Africa. As I was sharing with you yesterday, the issue in Africa is information. It's not a political commitment because we have the political commitment. We will share with all member states through their ministers the list of all manufacturers, vaccine, medicines, diagnostics, and any other health commodity, for them to give priority to African-made product when they are procuring. And let me also share with you, I will make sure that our head of state, they will approve that during the AU Assembly, because they are mandating me to make this agenda moving. And I would just advocate for them to ensure the launch of regional capacity and capability network. As you know, it was made public that 5 countries, after a competitive process, were approved by Africa CDC to become the center of excellence, and where all aspects of local manufacturing will be operationalized. We thank and congratulate Egypt, Morocco, Senegal, Rwanda, and South Africa. We believe we can have more, but for now, let us see how these countries are coming together to support the agenda of the continent. We still believe that one day we'll see progress made in my region, that is Central Africa, where we don't see things moving, but they will learn from others and things will move one day. We were witnesses of some MOUs that were signed among manufacturers, Afrigen with biogeneric pharma. They signed this MOU that is giving hope to the continent. We saw also Eva Pharma with Quantum and Unizima signing an agreement. I hope to see during the Africa ExCon many agreements being signed. Dear friends, let me say clearly and loudly, during our deliberations, we decided to support the Gavi replenishment. CEO Gavi, I was saying, as Gavi needs Africa, Africa needs Gavi. We need to see a well-funded Gavi. And you can count on me to make this agenda loud and clear to our leaders. And if my sister will be open to invite some of our leaders, because I'm still waiting for my invitation for the replenishment. If they will be open to invite our leaders, I will make sure that some of them they will attend. It's just like that we can see that there is a clear commitment from Africa to support the Gavi agenda. To conclude, I want to thank the government of Egypt under the leadership of President Sisi, who, for the very first time I landed to Egypt, I got from the minister and from himself when he opened the session of Africa ExCon, how he's so committed to support the agenda of the continent. Every time I'm talking with President Sisi, he doesn't talk about Egypt. He's just talking about the continent. I hope all of our leaders, they will start to talk the agenda of the continent, because we need to be one to build our future and to ensure that this continent will be developed like others are today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And now, allow me to welcome His Excellency, Dr. Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Health and Population of the Arab Republic of Egypt.
Good evening, and allow me at the beginning to thank Dr. John Cassia for the Director General of the African Center for Disease Control. And this guy is an incredible person. He works tirelessly with passion and dedication, I think, since he was appointed as the DG of the African CDC. And I'm witnessing, I mean, I call him from time to time, and he never give up. He works very hard, even not on just for solving problems related to health, but also political problems between countries. And he's all the time dedicated with the commitment in his work. And when he says that if I want to do something in my position, I would love to see one day where the African continent depend on African countries for their vaccine and medicine and diagnostics, and hopefully in local production of, and we deserve that. So he has a mission, and I think he's quite focused in this particular mission. He needs your help. All of us should help him in this endeavor, and I believe that he has all the resources, and we do as an African countries, we do have all the resources for success. Dr. Sania, thank you so much for your nice words. I think you made my day today. I mean, I had a great honor and chance to meet with Her Excellency in the morning, and she talked to me about her surprise visit to one of our primary health care. And you are absolutely right. All the time when we look at our system, the troubles, we never look at the bright side. And it's very good to get somebody from outside with an expertise like your kind self to give us this inspiration and to give us this idea about how we see it, because we don't see it most of the time. We give ourselves hard time, and we give our people and our colleagues hard time because we want perfection. And if you have human work, then perfection is quite difficult. But thank you so much for this encouraging remarks, that we are definitely gonna take this to wherever the place that you visited. And definitely, Amr, we need to acknowledge those people who worked hard at 2 o'clock in PM, and we have an outside expert certification of what we do. So thank you so much for that. Mr. Christensen, thank you for joining us and for sponsoring and supporting this important event representing the RVMC. And my dear colleague and friend, Dr. Hisham State, the chairman of the Unified Procurement Authority. I believe you've done a marvelous job, you and your team, and certainly Kamal was doing. And please give a break upload for Kamal, because he's the one to organize all this with the team of the African CDC and with the other sponsors. Thank you, Kamal, for this marvelous job. Contribution alongside the collective effort for everyone in this room have been pivotal in driving forward our shared vision for a self-reliant, resilient Africa, one capable of producing life-saving vaccines and health products for its people. I think this is a noble mission for all of us. However, our journey towards health sovereignty is not without its challenges. And the COVID-19 pandemic was just yesterday. Don't forget that. And that was a stark reminder for the vulnerability that we face in the African continent. It exposed the urgent need to reduce our dependency on external suppliers and build a robust, home-ground healthcare industry. Today, we stand united in our resolve to ensure that Africa produces 60% of its vaccines needed by 2040, a goal that is ambitious but achievable at the same time. Also, our national vaccine strategy in Egypt, when we talk about how Egypt prioritized the localization of vaccine production as well as medicine as a key pillar in strengthening Egypt's health security and self-sufficiency. Within our national strategy, I believe that the Egyptian Drug Authority, as my dear mentioned, and the Unified Procurement Authority, the UPA, both of them has been instrumental in establishing this clear roadmap of vaccine localization. And I ask every and each one of you to use this experience that we have developed along the last few years to be available for our sisters and brothers in the African continent, even for the accreditation and the maturity level 3 that we achieved for the Egyptian Drug Authority. So the remarkable progress that we established, I think, through also some of our pharmaceutical industry, and I can name Vaxera, Gyptopharma, and Biogeneric Pharma, and many others that is also available for our sisters and brothers of the African continent to start helping our nations in order for localization of that. Being a regional hub for vaccine, I believe that many countries in the African continent could be of help in that particular domain, and fostering local expertise from every country is very important to leverage this advanced technology and strengthening our regional partnership. This forum, I believe, in the last couple of days has been an important testament to what we can achieve together. From the launch of the African Vaccine Manufacturing Accelerator, the AVMA, to the pledges of 1.2 billion in support, we have seen a strong global endorsement of Africans' potential, but our work does not end there. But to succeed, I believe we must strengthen market demand through pooled procurement, ensuring sustainability. And I was happy when this comes out from the communiqué that we all need to think thoroughly about the pooled procurement agency for Africa. And I can tell you that that agency in Egypt made a lot of difference as regards to pricing and cost saving and also supply chain along difficult times. So this procurement agency for African will be of great help and also will promote African manufacturers, while enhancing the regulatory capacity by supporting more national regulatory authorities to achieve, as I mentioned, the WHO maturity level, and guaranteeing the safety, efficacy, and quality of our products at the same time. I have to point out and emphasize that Egypt remains committed to this important journey. We will continue to share and learn from you and share also the expertise and invest together in the infrastructure and support from each other and from our partners across the continent. Together we can turn challenges into opportunities and build a healthier and more prosperous Africa. And let us leave this forum with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The road ahead will not be easy, but with unity, collaboration, solidarity, and unwavering political will, we will succeed. I extend finally my heartfelt thanks to the African Union, to the African CDC and Gavi and the RVMC and the UPA and all our partners for making this forum possible. Egypt is honored, and thank you all so much for choosing and selecting Egypt to host this important gathering. And we look forward together to work hand in hand and with you to shape the brighter future of our continent. Special thanks to my brother and friend, Jean Cassia, for his passion and commitment to make this event happen. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Such an honor. Thank you very much, our guests, delegates, and now allow us to have the group photo. Thank you very much.